Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our monthly Ascension Angel Messages for May 2025. So, as we begin, I'd like to first of all thank everyone who is always showing up for these monthly readings and supporting um, my channel through your viewership. I'd like to also welcome anyone who might be new to our Angelic Wisdom community and join us for the very first time. And if this is your first time, make sure that you're subscribed and to make sure you select the all notification bell. Um, and of course, leave your comments, as this really helps the channel. If you haven't had an opportunity to check out our other readings, I do a weekly angel reading, Ascension Messages. So make sure that you check that out on my channel as well. And if you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. And just be aware that my availability for readings is now on Saturday after about 2 p.m. So there might be availability during the week after 5 p.m., but I'd have to let you know that on a need basis. Also, if you'd like to support my channel with a donation, you can go to my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom LLC. You can find all of those links in the description area beneath this video. And let's take our attention to the format of this reading. So the cards that you see laid out, first the one in the center is going to represent an Archangel message. And then the cards on either side are from the Major Arcana and the Minor Arcana. So the Major Arcana is going to help us to understand the overall theme, lesson, or sort of motivation, or what we might be, what's kind of moving behind the scenes and shaping the month for us energetically. And the card on the right from the Minor Arcana is going to just give us a sense of how we are, how that's showing up in our day-to-day lives, or how it translates into our day-to-day awareness. It's another way of saying it as well. All right, so let's close our eyes and really center ourselves in our hearts. And allow yourself to be grounded into the earth. And just give yourself the space to be as open to your angels' wisdom and guidance. So they're starting off by showing me the earth symbol, which is an upside down triangle with a line through it in the third eye. So it's very interesting. And it just gives me a sense of, and it was an image of a female with very curly hair. And it just gave me this sense of really being grounded in our intuition. And this month, May, is under the earth sign of Taurus. And it kind of gave me the sense of the Queen of Pentacles, right? Where we really trust our intuition, we trust our common sense, okay? So this could be another way of looking at another facet of our intuition, um, is common sense. And sometimes we override common sense, or we don't um, respect common sense enough. And um, and so I get a sense that if you trust your common sense, and this is allows us to sort of be more grounded in the way that we are being intuitive or instinctual in a way, to not throw out common sense. So it feels like a balance with this watery element and earth, right? That, the water can nurture the earth, the seeds within the earth, and the things that um, are growing beneath the surface of the earth. And so that we need, but we also have to use our common sense in sense of not overwatering something or neglecting it, that it can't grow. And so it's being aware of what has the potential to grow and what you can actually nurture at this time, and not giving yourself up, not getting caught up too much in hopes. And I know that sounds weird, but it's almost like if there's no seed, and if there's nothing planted, if there's you can't nurture it. So you need to focus on the things that you've planted and that can be nurtured. This would be common sense. So if you have something that you've been really wanting to do, but you haven't planted any of the seeds, then you're going to have to do some common sense practical things, right? You're going to have to plant some seeds. And you're going to have to make sure that the environment to plant those seeds will actually, you know, be beneficial. It can actually yield something at this time. It's not to say that later on you can't do it, but it just seems like this is the time to focus on what's what's in front of you, what's um, there that needs to be done. So if you've been neglecting things or putting things off, and you've been chasing some kind of idea, dream, you've just been tracing the water and not cultivating it in the earth, in the realm of matter, then it's time to deal with those things, so that you have, all of this, you have this foundation for your ideas to take root. So if you don't have the foundation, then your ideas can't take root. Again, this is not saying don't have ideas. This is not saying not chase dreams, but you need a foundation. And what is that foundation for you? For you, because that can be different for every person. But what is that foundation for you that's not in place? So that you can sow those ideas. I just want to throw this in because it keeps coming through, but sometimes it's those things that seem um, just unimportant. Well, it's not unimportant, but it's those tasks that just, um, I feel like that water element of us that we just want to escape dealing with, certain matters that actually um, keep us, take care of us, that provide for us, that supply us energy and resources when we need them. And so we can't just neglect these basic necessities as a part of that foundation. We need to have those foundations in order to sow our ideas. And this might be the time where, so, tending to the soil, so to speak, and making sure you have something in it, something to grow, even if it's not going to grow and you can, use it right now, but that you're preparing for something so that when you need it, the resources will be there. So think about how you can prepare for those resources. I don't know why I just saw the word inheritance, but if that applies to any of you, if you suddenly inherit some unexpected funds, then I get this sense of applying that to that foundation of resources. Don't just be frivolous, because the Queen of Pentacles is not like that. So she saves for that rainy day, and she saves for that opportune time. So she's always got a goal. She's not stingy. She's saving for some goal or purpose. So whether this is an inheritance that, like in the traditional way we think of it, or it just might be some unexpected funds that come to you, maybe tax returns or something like that. Use it for a goal, an important goal that might be coming up for you. That's something that you may not have expected, but when the resources are there, you might all of a sudden realize that idea that's been sitting in the back burner, and that's the right moment for that idea. I saw the word inferior, and this makes me think that sometimes we think we're not deserving, and so because of that, we never think that those ideas could ever come to fruition for us, or they could ever happen for us. Like, they're just too impossible. And so you don't see sometimes that what you have can actually help you to launch that, or to grow, or to develop that idea, so they can become a reality. It may not be able to, and things grow in their own time. You got to give it time to do that. So you need to think more like the Queen of Pentacles, wherein, you're gonna give it time, right? You're gonna pay into this, you're gonna invest into this over time. You might be making small investments, but over time, that investment will, um, allow you to do what you want to do, and to see yourself differently, to not feel so, you know, inferior, or, the feeling I get is like, where when we feel like we're always drowning in whatever it is, like drowning in debt or drowning in something, right? That we're just in survival mode, and we can never think about thriving. And it's because the habits that we've um, adopted keeps us in survival mode, and never being able to have hope, never being able to fuel our hopes, our dreams, or desires. And if you just are patient, and you keep, doing what you can to invest in that, over time, you'll have something built where you can finally stop feeling like you're just surviving, and you can start thinking about thriving. And once you're in that realm, things just start to come together for you, and allows you to start thriving. And then you adopt new habits. But where you are, you can't see it. And because you feel the way you do, and the way you've been feeling for so long, and the way things have been running in your life for so long, you know, it just seems like the most impossible thing. But if you start gradually taking a little bit for yourself to put towards that something, and it doesn't have to be anything specific right now. You don't have to even know what the goal is. But just know that the goal overall is just to get you out of that mode of feeling like you're always just surviving, that you're living to just survive, because there's more to life than that. And it really is a figment of our imagination that we believe through choices and habits that we are inferior and undeserving. All right, so let's take a look at the Archangel message that we're working with. Oh, and it's actually your guardian angel. And when the guardian angel comes in, and it was just that feeling of, oh, you know, your guardian angel's love is the sweetest, most gentle, and most empowering, as well as powerful love. Because out of all of the angelic realm, this angel is closest to you in terms of vibrational language or frequency than all the other angels. Um, it's as if your guardian angel is a little, and this is not a demotion for your guardian angel at all. It's actually, it makes their love for you um, like the brightest, if not brighter, than the other angels, because in order to be as close to you as possible while still holding the frequency of oneness and egolessness, your guardian angel has chosen to take demotions in their frequency in order to be close to you, to give you and support you in the ways that you need, to understand you and to love you unconditionally in the ways that you need. So it's, you know, it's not a sacrifice for them. It's a gift for them, to, and an honor to love you in this way and in this level or hierarchy of, the angelic realm. And so it gives us, it reminds us that we need to love ourselves and to love each other in the same way. If your love is always a mirror. The way that you love, the way that you take care of yourself, the way that you take care of others. It's a balanced mirror. You can't love, because there's this talk about loving yourself more than anybody else, right? And in a way, we get it from a human perspective. But there is no way to do that in a way that is selfish. It is always imbalance. It's always a mirror. It's always a reflection, love. It's not one-sided. One side of the mirror has more or less. It's always in balance. So when you love yourself, your relationships, in order for the love you love trying to give to yourself to be in balance, it has to be this same way that you love yourself unconditionally, you must love others unconditionally. The way that you love yourself with boundaries, you must also love others the same way with those with boundaries, right? Respecting boundaries. So the respect of boundaries is not something you can just hoard for yourself, is what I'm trying to get to. It's something that is always a mirror. And the mirror, as we know, we can't, even in the physical world, we can't toy with it. It is always just the reflection. When we look in the mirror, it is what we see. It is what we're seeing. And that also means that if you see yourself as in a certain way, then when you look into the mirror, you're going to see that. It's not that the mirror is going to show you what you are not seeing within yourself. And this is why the same is true about loving ourselves or respecting others and boundaries, the whole gamut of things we can think of right now. If you see yourself differently from another, then I'm going to say it this way first. Something funky is going on. If we see ourselves better or worse, that means something funky is going on in our perception. And that is what is not unconditional love. And that becomes a mirror where you will experience imbalance, injustice, chaos instead of peace, etc. It is most imperative, as the next message says, ask for help. It is only because of your guardian angel's love, type of love, and the gift that they gave when they took on this mission. It is with their particular brand of unconditional love that is so important and so unique in the healing process that allows us to heal. And I just saw the word flash in front of me, karma. That is to say, to restore the balance, to have that mirror, true mirror effect, that mirror of purity, that mirror of integrity, that mirror that without that integrity cannot be love, cannot be peace, cannot be justice, it can't be balance, it can't be wholeness until that piece of integrity is restored. And so it is that with your guardian angel, its integrity is what allowed that guardian angel to become a guardian angel to you, to lower its frequency enough to be closer to you while still holding full knowledge, wisdom, and gifts of the angelic realm, the purity and integrity of the angelic realm. And so if you call upon them during these times of reflection, they can help you to bring balance to that mirror and to start bringing balance to karma. Now, that does not mean that the karma will be erased, but what it does mean is that the lessons will come at a higher level of integrity and clarity. And the lessons will be of high integrity, will be about higher integrity in order and come with the clarity that's needed to really behold that level of integrity. And that lesson will allow you to sort of almost release karma in this way, balance it. So all of that is how the balance happens, is what they're trying to explain. It's because of the lessons of higher integrity and the clarity that will come with it, that you will be able to balance karma much more rapidly and be able to move forward in your life with higher integrity. And that higher integrity is going to draw to you new lessons, and new experiences. So that they wrote the word, as I was saying, integrity, a release. It's that the higher level integrity of experiences releases you from certain karmic lessons or rises your frequency above karma ultimately and eventually. But it's a gradual ascent away from the karmic wheel. And as long as you're willing to understand the mirror and, be ready to love yourself in the way that you should love others, loving yourself and loving others with the same level of integrity, then you will be on this ascent. And I get a sense of this sort of tending to the garden of who you are, the garden of your responsibilities. Because again, it's not about skipping over karma, but the karmic wheel is all about teaching us responsibility. Because we can't have freedom, can't have peace, we can't have anything, can't have true anything, integrity, without a strong sense of responsibility. That's not to say that you blame yourself or blame others, but it's responsibility about the spiritual laws, the spiritual tools that we're working with already. Whether we understand them fully or not, we're already working with them. And they may seem complicated when they're, sort of displayed in front of you, but they all come back to one central core, they're writing, understanding. It's a core of integrity. And the core of integrity, integrity is the core of love. Without integrity, there is no unconditional love or true love. And that integrity is what we are responsible for. And how are we responsible for it? It's always in our awareness. It's not to be fussy and picky and all of that. It's just to be aware in the most broadest general terms. Because the more fussy it gets, the more distorted it all really is. You can't be responsible if you can't see the forest from the trees, right? If you're too up and it was too right in front of your face, you're missing all that surrounds it and that is interacting with it. It's sort of like the grand scheme. If you're stuck in a particular part of a scheme, specific scheme of the grand scheme, you don't have sight of the grand scheme, the purpose. You can't be responsible for maintaining your integrity if you're stuck in a limited specific point. You have to be always in that grand awareness and just listening to vibrations as you interact with them on a grander scale, and you will know what your truth is. You'll have clarity, and you'll be able to make the choices that have the highest integrity, as long as you're not fussing. All right, so let's take a look at the Major Arcana lesson. So, this is typically the death card, and it's called Release here. And this is something I get, that this is our transformation. This is our journey. And what am I trying to say is that there is nothing that you and I can do about this process in which I've described. We are all on that ascent, and those who are not, that is not their purpose to be on it. They're not being left behind, but for some reason they're choosing, whether they know it in a conscious way, to be, to stay behind, to stay at the lower frequency in order to fulfill some important purpose. I hear like the cleanup. And it's not because they did the most dirt. We are all culpable in this, in an equal way. This idea that this person's suffering more because they cause more suffering. No, the people who are suffering more is because they have taken more responsibility. They've taken more responsibility in being who they were and have been in the light, which affords them the greater capacity to be able to stay there or be there and do the work without growing faint. We're always being prepared for higher frequencies of the light, but the light is equal. But some of us are going to carry more of that light because we're going into places that are dim. But the mastery is the word I've been evading here. It's all about the mastery of light, the mastery of our integrity and responsibility to the light. That is what's going on. Everything is about an honor that has been earned, but no one has ever failed the system. So those who seem to have the easiest, you might say they had the greatest karma. Not necessarily. And it's not because they're weak or they haven't done enough. It's just that what is their lifetimes has prepared them for. Everybody chose what they were preparing for. But when we come into this cycle of karma, we're all in it equally. There is no blame. There is only the process of ascension, which is healing the karma. We're all here to heal it. Some people never participated in the karma of Earth before. But the karma of Earth was not created just because of the miscreations of ego. The karma of Earth was something created for the universe. It's a universal healing, not just only to those who have had lifetimes on Earth, but it's for the entire universe. It's the it's the solar plexus chakra of the universe. So this is a big lesson, a big theme. And all we can do right now to really bring that balance, true balance, is to release, to sow the seeds for your freedom. But you're not sowing it for just yourself, you're sowing it for everyone. All of us, we're working together, and we're working in different ways. We're working on different bandwidths because there are many bandwidths within dimensions, and they all need gardeners. So the things you've gone through, you were not going through it because of you. You were going through it because of others. You were bringing healing. You were bringing your light, the mastery of your soul, and every soul is a master. You're bringing the master of your soul's light to that miscreation, that bandwidth, so that all the bandwidths will be equal, balanced. And when they're all balanced, these multifaceted threads, I mean, we can't even imagine the numbers. They're like the numbers on your hair that have been attended to and are being attended to, just to create balance again. This transformation is assured, but we all have to be patient. We have to sow the seeds. We have to tend to the foundations in our lives, in our life experiences, our life story, our life paradigm, the bandwidths of those paradigms, because there's so many bandwidths that we're all tied into. It's like a spider web. And as you're going through your paradigm, your life experience, you are tapping into all of those bandwidths, bringing balance on so many different levels, not just on, say, the dimension where you are, but you're doing it on higher and lower ones at the same time. Because they're connections, because we're all connected. All right, let's take a look at the card that we're dealing with for the minor arcana and our day-to-day awareness. And this will give us some sense of how, we can be of service in a way. So what we see is the Two of Air. I just kind of spoke about that in the reading for the April 28th through May 3rd. And so this is a card about decisions. But as it says there, it's really about indecision, avoidance. The confusion is just the result of the others. There is no light or dark path. There's no right or wrong path to choose, or right or wrong choice. It's about knowing what you're supposed to do. And that doesn't sound easier for you, but it's about knowing that whatever path you choose, you will be fulfilling your purpose. You will be tapping into those different bandwidths and bringing balance. And your life always seems, through your ego, that it's all about you and that you're all alone in who you are about. And that is total lies. Total lies. It's about all of us. It's about all of it. And it's really about the courage to be wherever you're led, wherever you decide to go. But the one thing you can't do is not do either. You can, but it's not who you are. And what we have to stop hopefully doing is discouraging ourselves with this nonsense that you're not of any importance, that you haven't done a thing. Because in those lowest moments of your life, even if they've seemed to last at your entire life, you've been an extraordinarily powerful source of light, weaving light into the tapestry of the finiteness, of the infiniteness of what we know as life, what we know and don't know about life. You've been actively a part of it. Coming into the earth school, being incarnated, does not mean that you have been living outside of oneness all this time and you're trying to get back to it. You've been living in oneness while also living in finite reality. You've been infinite and finite all at the same time, which means you've been serving. Ultimately, you've been serving, and they write in front of me, they've approved. There is no disapproval. They want you to write, erase that. Everyone, erase that. Because that is what's interfering with you embracing responsibility and integrity of that responsibility, of who you are and what you're meant to be, and how powerfully you can do it, how worthy you are to do it. Oh, if you need your guardian angel's guidance as it looks at this, please ask your guardian angel for help. If you've noticed, I've been asking you to surround yourself in the protection of God's love. I've been asking you to invoke your guardian angel to protect you, surround you rather, in the protection of God's love. That love is the love that we're invoking, is the strong memory of when you were first an idea. Within the foundation of the heart of God. And when it called you forth, knowing who you were fully and all that you were worth and would be in an invaluable way to the process of balance or healing. And you haven't missed a step, nor have you misstepped. You've done everything and been everything you were meant to be in order for the whole cosmic web to unfold and to stretch and to, come together and to find oneness again. However, that discovery is just something that it's like we're peering through our ego. But on the other side, you've been seeing yourself as you were seen, as you have been seen from the beginning. It sounds like a complicated story, but it isn't. This is just the story of love and its integrity and its responsibility to the whole of itself and to the whole of all of its many parts. It will and has never forsaken you, never forgotten you, and never stopped loving you. So I send you lots of love, and be not afraid to tend to the foundation so that you can plant your ideas and watch them grow through this magnitude, indescribable magnitude of love for you. That you not know that you are so unworthy, that you're only meant to survive, but that you know that you are so incredibly and powerfully extraordinary that you are meant to thrive. That was an ego moment. So we have to say that until we feel that, so that we don't feel like we're a mistake. Once we don't feel like we're a mistake, it will be easier to trust our common sense. The common sense of unconditional love, the common sense of the all-wise being that created us and loved us. Have a beautiful month. God bless you.